I've got a rather unconventional thought.
Meow.
You don't go to your golf instructor and take lessons to get better at golf. I would argue you actually go to get temporarily worse at golf. My most recent lesson with Big Kurt involved a lot of very difficult body movements and transitional sequences with the golf club. It was very difficult for me to feel comfortable throughout this entire lesson. But like all things in life, sometimes you gotta take risks in order for you to get to where you wanna go. You can't be afraid to give up the good in order to chase what will ultimately make you great. Let's talk about that right now. Thank you very much for tuning in to my YouTube channel. My name is Kenny. Some of you may know me as Kennie Kat. I am a competitive golfer, and this channel is dedicated to my journey on what it takes to become a better competitive golfer. I wanted to show you guys a little bit about what my most recent lesson was with Big Kurt, but before we get into that, I do want to talk about some of the things that we are going to go over in the lesson that if you don't know what they are and how they work, it'd be great to have a little bit of an introduction. In this lesson, we use something known as KVest, which is a 3D position sensoring device that you put on the golfer. You have a measurement device on your wrist, your arm, and your chest, and your hip. And when you take practice swings with this device, it gives your coach or your instructor three-dimensional information on your swing that can't be seen with traditional 2D cameras or even slow motion cameras. There's a lot of really great information in this lesson, so if there's anything you have questions about, as always, leave them in that comment section below. I'd be more than happy to fill you in. Let's take a look at that video right now.
Calibration complete.
Cool. Ready? We're going to count down.
3, 2, 1. Swing. 3, 2, 1. Swing.
That looks good though, bro. Face is just a little open.
3, 2, 1. Swing.
Alright, so let's take a look at that one. So we'll go through the swing summary here real quick. Setup position's money, dude. Really good. Dress just slightly open, which is perfect. Pelvis is really neutral. Almost perfect from the bend perspective. Pelvis is in a really good spot. Like where the chest is. Pelvis position at the top. Side bend, just a little bit more side bend. So that's that trail pelvis getting a little bit high.
Okay.
So for you, when we see that, it's when we start talking about that positioning of the hip getting out from underneath you a little bit.
How much closer is that number to what we were seeing before?
So this was back in February. So this was a little bit different, but from the upper body perspective, you're going to see a ton more upper body turn. Pelvis turn, ton more pelvis turn right there. And then our upper body side bend right about there. So when we go through and take a look at today, so we get some similarities still, but the rotation, let's see, go back up. The turn from the pelvis, hell of a lot better. This is almost perfect from an impact position.
Okay.
Still under rotated from an impact position from the upper body.
Okay.
So that's one of the reasons why we'd see those balls starting out right.
Okay.
Bends. So side bend and address a little bit where we get the pelvis too high, the lead hip too low. There at address. And then let's see what the rotations are. Address, good, good, good. Bends. Dude, that's so much better. Body turn to the top, so much better. You were at like 128 degrees.
So that's what I'm feeling. So that's my feel. It's just I just shortened the turn.
Let's go through efficiency. Look at that here. So from a firing pattern aspect, we're still seeing a little bit of the arm going first, the club going first. So we're seeing 1, 2, 3, 4 and then the speeds are a little bit off. You get a little bit of riding speeds, but oops.
What's a riding speed?
So when you see kind of these two right
Uh-huh.
here, so when you see these together, they're going as a kind of together as a unit. When you look over here,
Okay.
they kind of just ride on each other a little bit more.
Oh, okay, I got what you're saying.
So like they just kind of, they don't, when you look at this right over here when you look at this over here on the left, you'll see how they kind of stagger each other.
Yeah.
And these will just kind of go about the same speed throughout the whole time.
Okay.
Let's see what another swing. Let's see, face open, a little good swing. So this was better. So it's closer, 1, 2, 3, 4, so a little bit off, but from a peak speed sequence, you see how these numbers are a little bit too close, or a little bit closer together.
Yeah.
Right. So we want to see this one actually. This is actually really, really fast from a torso rotation. Pelvis just a little slow. Right. But all of these right here are PGA Tour arrangements for degrees per second from a rotational aspect.
Gotcha.
So your pelvis is super slow in relationship to a PGA Tour player, but everything else is just as high, if not higher.
Okay.
So
That
you
makes
have
sense.
you have more speed than most people. But from an efficiency standpoint, we still got to clean up your transition sequence.
Yeah.
Right. We're at 1, 2, 4, 3, right? Or 1, 4, 3, 2. And we'd like to see this go 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can get that efficiency going up, and that's a lot coming from what we're seeing from a movement perspective.
Perfect.
Takeaway sequence is good. This is when you kind of spun out on it.
Yeah.
See this one you got way open on it in comparison to the other one where you stay a little closed. Pelvis is really good at impact though. That's good. Trail it too high. Yeah, so still kind of seeing some of that pelvis movement.
Okay.
Just a little bit. I mean, it's not far off by any means. But from an efficiency standpoint, it's something that you need to do to create a more efficient movement from a firing pattern aspect, right? So that's where the sequence really gets tightened up. Perfect. Right? So you're getting up there, and we get up there, and it's so much cleaner, and you can tell from the results in the ball contact and the speeds that you're starting to get, the speed training that you're doing, all of it's going and continuing to work together.
Yeah.
This is just something that you got to continue to fucking beat the hell out
This
of.
is the only thing that I do. I sit inside. I got sitting here and doing this all
Yeah.
day.
Yeah, so from there, even from there, going from there, try to get it more from the pelvis, right? So you're going through and getting, there you go. So this is something that will grind out for a while, right? So I'll put this in front of you here so you can see it. Yeah.
But it needs to go.
From a pushing down, because you're actually applying force, so my grip is going down this way.
Yeah.
Right, so I'm pushing down into my left leg where the ground will push me and extend me out. Right, so you're going and just spinning this foot this way, which is the proper appliance to the ground. You're actually pulling the ground this way with this foot, but from a leg perspective, you're not applying the force to the ground, so you're spinning it this way.
Spinning out.
Right? Instead of getting a lateral move. Right? So we get that little bit more lateral move. You see how that creates that flex. Now from there, I can start getting that pelvis to work underneath and then push off.
It almost feels like.
There you go.
It feels like what it feels like to me is like it feels like I'm moving my hip and my flex towards the target.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, you get
That
a little
makes
bit
sense.
lateral slide.
That okay.
Yeah.
So it's okay to slide. Now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
100%.
That makes sense.
Every single player has a pelvis that goes from.
You get in there.
So if you had something in the middle of your pelvis, you rotate and then that pelvis shifts from here into that left. That's why you see that flex in that left leg. Right. So you get here and then you're shifting into that, and then you rotate and then you extend. There you go.
Okay.
And you see how now your body's in a much different. That's more collar right there.
Yeah. That I get. Okay.
Right.
So I'm not trying to slide this way. I'm trying to move a little this way. Keep this.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So
Yeah.
it's
Because
okay.
now you can flex that knee, can't you?
Yeah.
Right. So now when you try to do this drill, just give me that same thing, and tell me how much different that feels. There you go. Good.
It just wants to straighten a little bit more when it goes this direction. It's hard for me to keep that leg not straight.
So I want to get more here, and then once you get past the ball, then you can straighten. There you go. There you go. Now keep going all the way into the finish. Feel it. Do it one more time. working your ass off
It's
today. I
one
love it.
shots.
Working your ass off today here. I
That
love it.
is what we're doing.
And I think it's finally starting to click, connect the dots of what we've been trying to get you to do. There you go. That was better. That was a lot better from the pelvis.
Being ball to the left.
Pelvis is moving a hell of a lot better. You'll start finding. I'm not worried about you starting to find target. You start to understand how to get to what I'm trying to get you to do. You're going to start to see, like I said, everything just get tighter from a dispersion sense and then from a movement sense too.
Well,
Because
I see what you mean by this way here.
Right.
Because there's no damn way I can get the face closed if I'm leaning. It's not.
Yeah, if you're leaning back, you're going to
Face
leave
is
it
not going to get closed.
Yeah, you got to turn.
That's what I feel. Okay, I got it.
So everything right here is over your left leg. When you start to go poorly, you start to kind of get the spin out and the hip sits back a little bit more. Your left leg is actually pointed this way.
I guess the only difference is that we're talking about here.
And it's not much.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not much. That's why I'm not super.
Yeah.
Or like I know you want something like that's finite,
Yeah.
right? That's
Somewhere in that range.
But if you're getting over here, and you're over this leg, and you're completely on this left leg with your hip, your right hip is even with your left hip, right? So you're
Somewhere in that range.
right here, boom. Then you're going to start to notice everything's going to be on top. You're going to be in a really good balance point. You start to extend this leg too much. This right hip is going to sit over this way, and then this left hip's going to sit behind you.
That's where I'm losing my balance.
Mm-hmm. There you go. See, now your hips are in the same line.
Yeah.
Right? Everything's in a good spot. Your balance is probably better right
My
there
balance
too.
feels fine.
Yeah.
I don't feel any.
It's not spun this way.
I don't
where
feel any issues
This
with
hip's
balance.
getting way back here and kind of lean back. We're not throwing the hands, flipping the hands so much. That's where a lot of that's going to get cleaned up. This is on the top. You're going to see, right, the full extension of the arms, good exit, and the bottom. Working on the things that we're going to talk about right now from a distance control standpoint, from a wedge shot. A lot of the things that we're going to talk about is very similar conversation.
All right. I'm glad you all had a few moments to check out that video. And as you can see throughout it, Kurt and I are excellent communicators. We've been working with each other for a very long time. But this was a very difficult lesson for me. I was struggling to really not understand what Kurt was trying to convey to me, but I was really struggling to implement it into my swing. Ultimately, this is one of the things that I know for a fact will help me to improve, because we saw a lot of this result on the course this past Wednesday when I was playing with him in the pros. You know, I was hitting some incredibly long drives, 280 plus yards, 300 plus yard drives. And all of this was simply because I embraced the discomfort of this sequence that Kurt and I were working on. I wasn't able to strike the ball really well while I was on the practice tee, but that's exactly what lessons are for. You go to them to get worse so that you can improve to get better. I think a lot of golfers have this fantasy about going to a lesson in 15 minutes, you're going to get some magical pill that's going to fix them, and that's just not the case. You're going to go, you're going to be frustrated, and it's going to take time, and it's going to take practice, and it's going to take patience and persistence for you to ingrain those movement patterns into your swing, and ultimately that's going to lead you down the path of becoming a more consistent and a better golfer. And even though I have a very big 2-day tournament coming up tomorrow, I'm not worried that I'm going to hit the shots that I don't think are as desirable. At the end of the day, I'm never going to be as prepared as I want to be to win a competition, to compete in a competition. It's all going to come down to me being able to embrace the discomfort of going through the learning process and being able to figure that out while I'm on the course. After all, golf is a problem-solving sport. With that being said, I'm super excited. I'm starting to get those good competitive nerves rolling into Saturday, Sunday, which is when the tournament's going to be, but that's a good thing. I plan on going out, sticking to my strategy, and executing to the best of my ability on that given day, and making sure that I solve the problems as they arise. And problems are going to come up. We're introducing a completely new feel into a competitive environment that I've only really been working on for the last couple of days, and I'll have a few hours or maybe a practice session before Saturday. And all I need to do is play some good golf like I did this past Wednesday with Kurt. And if I do exactly that, I'm more than confident that I'll be able to put a good score that's going to keep me in the competition and keep me in the conversation and ideally we can walk away with a win after this weekend. As always, thank you very much for watching my video. Deuces, people. Let's keep it moving.
I was knocked down, heard the countdown through the haze, in the face of defeat, yeah. I was ruled out with no bailout, on my own, all alone, left to bleed out. But I rose up from the ground, just like